Well, there's a big fuss going on about whether or not President Trump should go visit Kenosha, Wisconsin, in light of the riots last week and the property destruction. And I want to talk about it in the first five today because I think it's actually an important argument about whether or not he should go there. You may recognize the mayor of Kenosha as well as the governor of Wisconsin, both Democrats, have said, President Trump, he should just stay away. He doesn't need to come here, just stirring things up. And I want to tell you how wrong that is and encourage you to think about this. There are people in Wisconsin, in Kenosha, who voted for President Trump. There are people in Wisconsin who actually want the president to help them through this crisis, the destruction of property around them. So this mayor and this governor are out of line to even suggest that the president of the United States ought to stay away because we got this. These are our peeps. There are supporters of President Trump. In fact, Kenosha County, very close, but in the last election cycle, Kenosha County went for President Trump. That's point number one. Point number two, these people, the mayor and the governor, failed to take charge of the situation in Kenosha, allowed an extraordinary situation to get out of hand, and as often is the case in many issues like this, neither has had the honesty and the integrity, the backbone to make clear to the citizens what really happened in the police interaction between police in Kenosha, Wisconsin, and Jacob Blake. We talked about this on my show yesterday, and I'm going to talk about it again today very briefly. This is not some guy who is innocently out, happy-go-lucky, out visiting some friends, tried to get in a car, and was tackled and shot by the police. This is a person, the reason the police were there is because the woman, that is the mother of this man's 3 children, had actually gotten a complaint out to the police, and previously about a sexual assault. She claimed that Jacob Blake had sexually assaulted her. Horrific description, and won't even go there. And she had a restraining order. He was supposed to stay away. Instead of staying away, he shows up at her place. This is why we need police, because police actually help women, especially when you have a dangerous situation. So Blake shows up. The woman doesn't want him there. She's the one that calls the police, saying the guy who was I've already complained, one sexually assaulted me, who's not honoring a restraining order, is here, and so I want the police to come. That's why they were there. And after being tased twice, Jacob Blake tased twice, and then putting Jacob Blake, the one who was shot, put a police officer in a headlock. Finally, they got to the point as they are worried about him reaching inside a van. They don't know what he's reaching for. Heaven knows what he may have had in there. All sorts of weapons. We don't know. But this is when the police took action. If there was integrity on the part of the mayor and the governor, they might say, we agree that we always want to be reassessing the police. We have to be very careful about police brutality and very careful about racism. But the facts here don't justify anything that happened. And speaking of what happened in Kenosha, I want to show you some pictures. I happen to have a good friend who lives in Kenosha and a friend whose sister lives there. And I got these pictures sent to me. Matt the Wonderful. This is what Kenosha looks like right now. Okay, hold on one second. The previous picture, this is the second picture I sent. The big picture before that, this is a car dealership. And you can see this car destroyed and the happy little sold sign still sitting in the windshield, somehow survived. This is a car dealer, every car destroyed. Next one, the sold sign. There's a guy, obviously someone's got the car sold and now it's gone. We can go to the next picture. And this is what Kenosha looks like, a war zone. A war zone. Next picture, another war zone picture. And I think I have one more or two more. I want you to see, this is an office. I think it was at the car dealership, an office. This is what happened to that city. This is where Trump wants to go visit. And I want to make the final point in this first five today about this. Actually, two more. Okay, first of all, look at this. Someone actually wrote they had to board up these businesses because they're being destroyed by rioters. And someone writes, puts Kenosha with a peace sign in the O, and then be kind to each other after the city's been destroyed. Kind of ironic, I don't know, hypocritical, we don't know who wrote that. But the two last points I want to make in this first five are this. Number one, what this mayor and governor are doing is playing along on the Democrat playbook, the Democrat Party line in this election cycle, which is all of the violence in the cities around the country is all Trump's fault. It is Trump's fault. You hear Biden making noises like this already. Biden making noises about, well, it's happening under President Trump, and, didn't have this under President Obama. And I mean, even though we did have some problems under Obama, but the point is, there's a political mission. The Democrat media mob, the leaders in Democrat cities and states around this country are on a mission to get on board with messaging to America that all these riots are only happening because President Trump is there. It's all his fault. So the mayor and the governor are comfortable saying, well, he better stay away, kind of implying it's his fault. We're in this situation, so please stay away, as though it's his fault. It is the fault of Democrat policies that for years have resulted, and fault of the agitation we talked about yesterday in great detail, agitation by the Communist Party in America, the Marxist Party in America, to encourage division, hatred, and eventually revolution. I read to you yesterday the comments from the Revolutionary Communist Party leader of this country talking about now's our time, keep up these protests, burn the place down. We're going to have a Marxist revolution right here in America. Last point in today's First Five. If you want to understand to whom we should be pointing the finger of blame, I want you to think about the conduct, the spending by the Ford Foundation. I've always been really upset by the idea of the Ford Foundation. It sounds so nice. It sounds like you're referring to some folksy American company, the Ford car, very Americana. The Ford Foundation, radically leftist organization, funds and supports leftists of all kinds and leftism and Marxism and socialism. Listen to the litany of organizations they have supported, all now wrapped up in this disaster we're watching in America. Ford Foundation has poured nearly $2 billion, B as in boy, $billion, into active disrupting systems to advance social justice. Words from their website. They have in the billions of dollars a variety of organizations who engage in disrupting systems to advance social justice. Within the Ford Foundation, key members tied directly to Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. Harris's sister, an ex-campaign chairwoman, Maya Harris, was the Ford Foundation vice president, along now with Biden's senior advisor, Christabel Alex. We have funding for communist-connected street agitators coming right out of Ford Foundation. What you're watching in the streets of America is agitated, manufactured disaster, manufactured and funded disaster, bust-in disaster by these people. Ford Foundation, a variety of organizations. They have paid to support the Communist World Workers Party, the Southern Vision Alliance. Oh, that sounds nice, except it's about destroying America. Southern Vision Alliance. All these organizations paid for the Ford Foundation tied to the left do not buy in to the argument of this mayor and governor that somehow everything happening in Kenosha and around the country should be viewed as the fault of Donald Trump. And if they want to tell someone to stay away, in Kenosha, we talked about yesterday, it was out of 175 activists arrested, rioters arrested, and 102 of them came from out of state. Came from outside Kenosha, some from other places in Wisconsin. These are bust-in rioters. It is those kind of people that the mayor and governor ought to be saying, stay away, get out of here, don't come to our city to burn it, destroy it, and destroy our property. They're the ones who should be kept out of Kenosha. The President of the United States has every right to be there. And that, my very fine friends, is today's First Five.